Welcome to the Main Beam Podcast. This is Adam Weaver. We're sitting here with Landen Stockman, Brady Stockman, and we also have some wonderful guests on the show. They're bringing in their apparel brand, Hurricane Marsh, and I'll just let you guys introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Sam with Hurricane Marsh.
And I'm Macie with Hurricane Marsh.
How you guys doing?
We are doing great. We're glad to have you guys here tonight. We just finished up some hunting tonight, and actually Sam has a story that we'll tell later today, but we had some of his tenderloin that we had cooked up on the grill tonight, so
yeah, we've been talking about this trip for a long time.
we're happy and fat and we're ready to talk.
Yes, sir. Finally broke the ice with the boys.
That's for sure.
Heck yeah, we've been talking about it for a while now and finally coordinated with everybody's busy schedule and got you down here and finally drew some blood.
Yes, sir.
That's exciting.
How many times have you been out hunting this year so far?
For deer.
Deer, yeah.
Yeah, probably 12, 13 times.
More than that.
Yeah, we in September I went out a bunch during early season, and then we went on our East Coast tour for our business. So I didn't get to hit the prime rut, First year in it for deer, and I missed the prime rut.
Right.
But that's okay, because then I came back and I hunted with my friend Jack for a couple days. Then I came with you guys, and that's when the tide changed.
The real killer.
Yep, that's when it changed.
Yeah, and I mean we hunted a good farm, had a lot of deer on it, but we're still gonna have to get you up to the main farm and get you something to put on the wall. But
It's unreal.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what kind of bucks you guys got out there.
We got some pretty good ones brewing for next year.
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah.
It's looking good.
We might have, after me and Brady took both mature deer off the farm, we might have a new mature deer that moved in or two, but if not, we got 4 or 5 deer that are 4.5 that next year are going to be
Oh yeah.
studs.
We're looking for some big shooters next year, hopefully.
Oh, I'm happy to get on anything I can. Trust me.
Oh, no doubt.
It's a target-rich environment around
That's for
up
sure.
there. So we should be able to hopefully get on a few bucks, or there's so many those as well that we need.
Cleaning.
Yeah, take some mouse out of the food plots.
Yeah.
We honestly, there for a while we were killing a lot of does every year.
You
But
guys are saying like 15, 20.
we were shooting
there
for
was
30 at one
Yeah, there was
30.
times
Just
we were.
you two?
Yeah, we hunted this.
It wasn't all just us. Like as a whole on our farm, like some of the neighbors, we'd kind of get an idea, which we don't really have pressure. I think that's why we get we can grow deer, because if we don't kill them, most of the time no one will, unless someone's driving down the road and hits one.
Yeah. Hit someone with a rifle is what you're saying.
Well, we've had some poaching,
Darn it.
but
Yeah.
I mean, a highway goes right by there, so
Yeah.
there's some people that, or there's some deer every year that get hit by a car as well. But for the most part, if we don't kill them, like no one will. So I think that really helps.
Although you do have some large bobcats in the area that I think have helped you out in the
We've-
past.
We've been,
Dude, bobcats have exploded up there.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we would quota 30 deer depending on how many we had, and we didn't obviously do all the killing. We'd have some
friends
people, or a lot of times the best thing to do was we always had these old farmers and guys that'd be like, call and say, hey, I want a deer, I want the meat, but they were just older, weren't able to make it out. And so different times we'd go out hunting, I'd give them a call, or I'd give certain ones a call and say, hey, do you want a deer? Yeah, I'll take a deer. And so then I kind of got a number for the night that, hey, if I shoot 3 does tonight, that, they're spoken for. And at that point too, you could buy unlimited doe
Yep.
tags.
Yep.
Now they limit it to like,
Some of them are only 2 a county or 1 a county,
Yeah,
I
it's like
think,
something like
depending
that.
on where you are.
with a rifle, I believe with a bow still you can kill as many as you.
Yeah, I want to
can
say that's
fling arrows
true.
up.
As many as you can with a bow.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Running up broadheads.
So Sam got his first deer
Yeah.
last night, but have you, Macie? Have you killed a deer yet?
I have not. My family was just waterfowl, and then we got into turkey once sports ended in high school. So Sam's the first one. Sam went from a skater boy, then he met me and became a country boy, and then
Yeah,
first
we'll
deer
have
hunter.
to tell that story here in a second.
Yeah. Sounds interesting to
Well,
us.
that's exciting.
Yep.
Sounds like maybe next year we might have to get you both on something then.
I keep telling her. She said that she doesn't really have any interest in it, but
I mean,
I want her to really bad.
I do. I just seeing how excited he is for it and his drive. I was like, I don't want to mess anything up because their drive for it is way beyond. And also, too, coming from a family that doesn't hunt, watching Sam get, like, all excited over deer hunting and, get into bow hunting, teach himself everything about it, not having, my dad taught me everything I knew and not having anybody to teach him is pretty cool.
And you just got a bow this year.
Yep. Got a bow. What month did I get that bow in?
It was March 17th.
Yep. Got it in March. Practiced
She
all
said
summer.
the exact day.
Yeah.
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 This is when
Well,
you
we
spent
were
that
at-
money.
Yeah, we were actually at a show in Indiana, and I was like, Macie, I've been wanting a bow forever because I watch Cameron Haynes, and I think he's like the most BA dude out there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Definitely.
lift, run, shoot, that's so cool. And I was like, I want to get a bow, and I want to shoot something with it. So I told her, and she's always like the biggest advocate, like, go after your dream and go get what you want.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay. And we went and found a bow at like a local little shop that was set up at the expo. And I went and shot a couple different ones and found that one that I liked. And I've been shooting it and finally got to stick one last night. And man, it's
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
it's something else.
It's an
but
adrenaline rush. That's
it
for
really
sure.
Yeah,
is.
we had several opportunities or encounters that were close that just how bow hunting is. It's, a game of inches. And there was a couple times I thought it was going to happen. We went to full draw, then couldn't shoot. And then, one of those ended up busting us. And then I think I was more nervous for you than you were on.
Oh, I was pretty nervous.
Well, the nerves never really leave. I still get nervous every
yeah.
time.
Like the best feeling is like one day you're going to have a buck come in and you're going to be super chill. You're going to shoot it. And then all of a sudden after you're done shooting it, you're just going to be shaking like a leaf.
You're
like
gonna
you
be
won't,
shaking the
you won't
tree.
stop
Oh,
for an
I
hour.
was shaking
Yeah.
10 minutes after I
Oh,
got it.
yeah.
That's how I was with Deuce this year. That's the first time I actually felt, confident enough. And then once it was done, that's when you kind of get that adrenaline dump. But yeah, it's something else. That's for sure. It's like time just kind of slows down and the arrow just does its thing.
Hunting can give you like the highest of highs though and the lowest of lows.
Yeah, there was a couple times yesterday when we were hunting. I was like, "Oh, it's gonna happen." Then I was like, the doe, she'd be staring right at us. And I was like,
She'd stomp a little bit, look
Yeah.
right at us.
Especially because you guys were in the blind, and when you're level with them, right?
yeah,
It's
when
just a
you're
different.
when you're on their level and on their game, man, it's me and you like tonight.
That's exactly what happened with us.
Yeah, you're eye level with them. They just they look right through you.
It's hard too because it's such hilly ground down here. I feel like the deer coming from almost above you like
Right. No, that's
hurts as well.
yeah. No,
I think that happened because I think that's that second group that came in on us. We had two that we could see, and I don't think from Sam's point of view he could see. We had that small hole to the right in the
Yeah.
blind, and she was like kind of turning her neck to try and see what was going on.
A lot of the times in the blinds too is kind of hard because you want to keep everything to be able to have a shot opportunity, but at the same time, a lot of deer don't necessarily like see you in there. But what happens is if they're at an angle where they can see through the front of the blind and also the back of the blind, and it's a clear opening,
They'll
if
silhouette
you
you.
move and then all of a sudden they can't see through the blind, and then
Yeah,
you
they
move
don't
again,
like
They see
it's
the
like,
light change.
Yes,
Yep.
they almost like silhouette you, and it's like they don't really know. They're not necessarily like there's a human in there, but something's not right, and they just don't like it.
The whole weekend that Macie and I have been here, we've been like sponges, just listening to both Brady and Landen. Like they have so much knowledge on everything, and like pretty much, I'm gonna go back home and I'm gonna be able to shoot a deer in like a week going back home. These dudes know exactly what they're talking about.
Cleaned and cooked up and everything.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, you tried your first deer heart tonight, too.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was,
that was good.
and delicious.
There's a lot of
So
people
good.
that leave them in the gut pile, but they're very.
I
very
don't think I'll ever leave it in the gut pile after tonight.
no.
Yeah.
Just by the way you cooked it, I've had it before where it's cooked. It's good, but it's not like super good. But the way you cooked it tonight was, it was.
Oh, yeah. And if you cut it up thin and throw it, real hot on a grill, just basic salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic maybe. Perfect. You get it nice and seared up. It goes well with like a little fancy backwoods charcuterie board, before you cook the
I
real.
didn't even know you cooked it.
Yeah,
that was
real
excellent.
quick.
Adam, we learned tonight that he took cooking class.
Yeah. We used to do all sorts of
You
interesting.
took cooking class?
Yeah.
Yeah, back
Addie was
in my when I finished my master's with dietetics, we had a culinary art class that I helped teach with some of the freshmen that would come in, and we would do all sorts of like exotic type of
Like deer
dishes.
hearts?
Well, we didn't do any wild game, but we did like beef heart and beef tongue, and I think we made beef tongue tacos, beef heart, oxtail soup.
Rocky Mountain oysters.
I would have been game for it, but I don't think too many people would probably signed up for that class.
You were redneck Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, you could say that. It was definitely a fun class to be able to be a part of and teach, and then in a way it exposed me to just cooking with different visceral organ meats, and I don't waste anything on the deer if I can help it. So although I can't really do lung, I don't know if you guys have ate lung before.
I didn't even know you could eat a
I
never
had no
even
idea.
heard of that.
Yeah, it's just
I didn't never even heard
well,
of
you
it.
guys probably can eat the lung because you guys shoot through them.
I usually blow 'em up.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it makes sense.
right.
Have you fried like the liver and everything then before?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you
the heart's
usually
the best.
keep the liver though?
Heart's the best. I wouldn't like freeze it and keep it.
No.
No.
Yeah, no, that's not. The heart's fine, but
The heart's got a bunch of healthy things in it too.
So does the
like
liver
food.
though. Liver
Yeah.
has a ton of vitamin A, ton of really good nutrients.
Liver is king.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what one would say.
Maybe that's the secret.
That possibly.
interesting.
Yeah. So
I think Adam, you forgot to run and shoot in Cameron Haynes' thing. You
Yeah.
just straight lifted all the time.
yeah, I forgot the run part.
Just
Forgot the
lift and
run and the
shoot.
shoot
Yeah.
part. I just lifted.
Lift and cook.
I just cooked, worked out, slept, got back up, ate,
Did
slept,
it
worked
again.
out.
Yeah. Stayed out of trouble.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. So that heart was good, and we're glad that you were able to harvest it. And the
Glad
heart
I was able to.
It was pretty easy to cut up because you didn't shoot it. So
I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing, but
Let me,
it was good.
Let me ask you something though. Even if the heart, even say you do shoot in the heart, do
Yeah.
you still keep the heart?
oh
Like,
yeah.
Really? Even if
Yeah.
it's like,
Oh, not an issue at all.
I mean, usually with a bow, it's not because it's just,
Yeah, with a bow, I wouldn't imagine being. If I blew through with a rifle,
A
I'd
rifle?
think-
Yeah, I guess I should say like I'm thinking in the context of shooting it with
With
you
a
know
bow.
a broadhead, and with a rifle, if I blew it center hole, I mean I probably wouldn't keep.
Yeah, no, there'd be nothing left.
I give it to the dogs,
yeah. I mean,
honestly. Yeah. So, but other than that, no. If I shoot with the bow, I'll still cook it up or freeze it and save it for later, which I have some deer heart for us.
Yeah, Addie
down the
said she
road.
was making us lamb, so we need deer heart
Yeah,
lamb.
yeah. We're gonna hopefully start raising some lamb and butcher them up down the road too.
Yeah, start shooting with a bow.
yeah, I called Adam.
That's a good way to do it.
Those poor bastards.
I called Adam one day because
Get the young one. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
he used to have this big turkey, and I used to go over there and mess with it all the
no,
time
not
because it would gobble.
His name was TG.
Yeah. So one day, I think I called him or whatever, and I said, "Oh, well, how's the turkey doing or something?" Or no, I just showed up to your house. And I
showed
was
up.
looking for the turkey, and I didn't hear him. I was like, where's
Usually
this-"
you shut your car door out when you got to the house.
And he would like
Gobble,
shock
gobble,
gobble, you know. And I always like loved hearing him gobble, so I'd mess with him. And one time I showed up at his house, and I was like, "Oh, where's the turkey? I don't see him." And he's like, "Come inside." I was like, "All right." And he opens the freezer, and he's like, "Here he is."
Dude, that same week, my brother had been down like the week prior, and he had bonded with TG, which TG stands,
He had bonded with.
it stands for Thanksgiving. So, guess where we had him at? But anyways, my brother was down there the week prior, and he had literally bonded with this turkey. The turkey was following him everywhere, like all over around. Walked inside with him if he could have. Had to block him from getting inside though. You'd always see his reflection peck at the back window. But so anyways, I gave him a call. I don't know why I gave him a call, but I just felt like it was the right thing to do the same night that I had put TG in the freezer, and I'm like, hey, I got to tell something about your buddy. He goes, oh, how's he doing? I'm like, well, he's a little quiet these days. He goes, you shot the turkey? I'm like, yeah, he's no longer with us. He's like, why'd you call me to tell you that? I'm like, well, I just figured it'd be better to tell you now than when you show up, like what Landen did, and you find out he's no longer with us.
That's hilarious.
How was he for Thanksgiving?
He was delicious, dude. Most tender bird. He was so fat he couldn't really move.
That thing had to be 50 pounds.
Oh yeah. After he was cleaned and everything, he weighed 27 pounds. I think I weighed him fully dressed at 45 pounds.
Oh my God.
Yeah, big dude. So he couldn't
Imagine
move,
that as
right?
a wild bird.
So
like,
super tender. I mean, I got a funny story about that. I mean, he was in because that spring I had shot a turkey because of him.
Right.
The thing is, I had to call the game warden ahead of time because I was like, look, these turkeys keep coming in the yard.
Because he was gobbling
Because
in the spring.
he was gobbling, but he's domesticated, like he's in a pen, like he's not out in the wild, like
Right.
I'm not trying to use him as a decoy. He goes, all right, well, I mean, if the turkey's coming onto your property, it's protection of property. So I was like, all right. And so that year I had a turkey probably like 100 yards away up on the ridge, and he was gobbling and starts walking down the ridge, and I set up behind this oak tree, and once he breaks over the ridge, blast him. And that, so TG had helped me put on a bird or two, I guess you'd say. So yeah, I did some hen calling, but he did most of the work, I'd say. But
that's
anyways, but I had permission to hunt the turkey, like the lamb behind me too. So yeah, they came in, it worked out all right. But I'll have to use the old box call this year because TG is
no longer
with us.
You just need to get another one.
Yeah, I think the wife and I are gonna get one this spring after the baby's born or something like that. We'll have another one.
Yeah.
Got to get another one for Thanksgiving.
That's right. Fun stories.
No, absolutely. Well, I guess now that we've talked about deer hunting and everything else, we'll let you guys get into a little bit about how you met and kind of how Hurricane Marsh came to be.
Yeah, so Macie and I met when I was 15 and she was 15. I was a freshman in high school. She was a sophomore.
He had a beard in my defense, so I thought he was older.
Well, I have the beard now. I don't have the. I didn't have
my
the beard
wife's older
then.
than me too, so you're good.
Yeah, she was a cougar, but we won't talk about
She's
that.
young. Yeah.
Oh, you had to do that to me.
Yeah, but she grew up more on kind of like the country hick side of the town, and I was more on like the preppy like side. Like my school is more like known as like, I guess you could say preppy. And so we started dating. She like the first time I went over to her house, it was a culture shock. There's like snow geese hanging from the wall, a speckle belly.
With a neck collar.
Yeah, with a neck collar on. I'm like, what the heck? Who am I dating? Who is her family? But then, years down the road, we started getting into the business of Hurricane Marsh, and I was like, this whole hunting thing looks kind of cool. And like, so my first hunt I ever went out on was a sea duck hunt out in the Chesapeake Bay of Maryland.
It's a hell of a way to start.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really good way to start. Really challenging. I missed every single shot my first time. I mean, I missed every duck. But then her and I actually went out to Nebraska in the spring after that and got on our first turkeys, and we doubled up on our first turkey hunt.
That's
so
exciting.
Her and I have been addicted to turkeys ever since.
There's no way better to start hunting than
turkey hunting.
Yeah, it's
dude.
that's what got me hooked, and ever since then I've been a hunting fool. And like we were talking about, I just got into deer. Never been into hunting. My family doesn't hunt or anything. I started hunting at 18 or 19, and I'm 22 now. So I mean, I'm a rookie. So these guys have showed me a little bit about deer hunting, and hopefully it'll go a long way for me.
Yeah, I hope so.
Hopefully so. Hopefully we can make this a yearly thing.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
For sure.
Heck yeah.
Especially because you guys make some pretty sick gear. So
We
Yeah.
appreciate
Thank
that.
you. We really appreciate that.
There's no way after what happened last night that he's
Oh, I'm hooked now.
hooked.
Yep.
once you get one with the bow and you
Yeah.
get the adrenaline rush kick in, yeah, you want to go after it again and again and again.
That
Yep.
moment, I heard that as soon as I felt him. You can see in the video I took when he shot his deer, and you heard the of the bow or the arrow hitting the deer.
Yeah.
I looked over and I saw his face and his eyes just wide. I was like, this boy's got like
Yep.
deer fever.
The
and it ain't
moment it
never
got
gonna
in
go
my
away.
blood,
Yeah.
she caught it on camera.
This boy's in trouble.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, I definitely am. But so Hurricane Marsh, it's Macie's family brand, and her and her dad started
Don't
it.
say Macy's family. It's
Well,
our family
it's my
brand.
brand too. I'm in the family technically, but
They
so,
accept you at this point.
Yeah, it started with them. Her dad, would take out all of his buddies snow goose hunting every year up to Canada, and he was a firefighter. He's now retired, and so he would take all his first responder buddies up to Canada every year, and he made him a snow goose hoodie because they were all like, you should make stuff. And he does like a bunch of art and photography and everything because, when you limit out, you ain't got anything better to do than just take pictures. So he made one with our like X logo on it and put it on a white hoodie and brought it home. I guess just threw it on the couch. And Macie, you could probably tell it better. You were there, but
Yeah, I came home from school and I saw it on the couch and I was like, Dad, that thing is pretty badass. Why don't you put it on Instagram? He's like, what the hell is that? So I made him an account, showed him how to use it. And it was kind of goofy because a bunch of, like Sam said, I went to the Hick school and a bunch of like my friends at school, they're like, Macie, your dad's like the coolest guy ever. Because he'd be posting videos just like making snow goose fajitas in their pit and stuff like that and tearing it up. And my mom, she's a teacher, she still is, and my dad, he was a firefighter, and I have one older brother, and we were all in high school, so we didn't really have much time. So it was just a little bit of a family side hobby we just do for fun. And all the pictures, like we have a spec hoodie that's a mount on our wall. Every bird is either like a mount on our wall or it's got like a story to do with our family. The dogs are our dogs. And in August 2021, we're about to go back for our fall semester at Missouri State, Sam and I, and my dad was like, well, since everything was online, he's like, you guys are both going for business. Why don't we do it like as a internship? And, you can go back after that. And we tried it and it took off.
Yeah, it took off and I was like, screw school. I don't need it anyway.
Hell with the liberal colleges.
Yeah. So we dipped out on school and we hit the road and we're pretty much almost on the road every single weekend that we can. And we did, 37 shows this year. And
Wow.
Yeah, in 27 different states. So we hit it pretty hard and
This is why you didn't hunt the rut. We know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We've done pretty good with it, and
That's incredible.
Yeah, we're very happy. We've gotten to while we're out on the road, we get to go hunting with friends like you guys, and we've met so many cool people on the road, and we've been able to go out hunting, which I always say hunting is the biggest bond that two humans can have together. Is
no doubt.
go out and shoot an animal and get to bring it back to the table. I mean that's.
And sit around and eat it like we did.
Yeah, I mean
Exactly.
that's the biggest bond you can have, I think. Period. For humans.
You'll never forget it. I mean,
The hunting community as a whole is just mostly awesome.
Very awesome people.
Everyone. They're always welcoming
And that's something I did not understand whenever I was younger. Like, you see Duck Dynasty and you think it's just a bunch of hillbilly dudes running around with guns, shooting animals, but you just don't understand like the true aspect of the sport.
Right.
It's a sport, it's a spiritual thing. It's very cool.
absolutely.
Something special.
no one can talk and have a conversation longer than two hunters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we probably could have podcasted for the last about 6 hours because we've been sitting here since we got back at 6 o'clock
Talking.
and been
Yeah.
talking ever since. So yeah, that's what's cool about it. I mean, we could probably stay up through the whole entire night talking about.
I'm the worst. If you call me in hunting season and I just got done hunting, we're gonna be on the phone a while.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you just got to say, all right, yeah, okay, yep, okay, all right, hang up.
See, my birthday is November 13th, and I always, family members will try to call me. I'll be in the woods, and we haven't heard from Adam. I'm like, yeah, you're not going to hear from me probably for a while.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's not dark out yet, so probably not. Sorry about that.
That's awesome.
But
So, what do you guys have a hunt other than your first turkey together that really stands out to you guys as a couple, like a snow goose hunt or even the hunt in Michigan. Well, I guess you were sick, but
Let's not talk about that. That one cuts deep.
but I guess, do you have anything that like you've done together that's been super memorable other than the first turkey hunt?
I will say, I just want to start off by saying the first turkey hunt, one thing that's cool that I bring up to Sam probably every time we're in a blind together, we're in a turkey or a deer stand or wherever we're at together, I always bring up, because after we got done with that turkey hunt, I was like, man, I think, because we both were big athletes in high school. I did 5 sports in high school, and he played football, so I was like, after, you lose that love of, like, sports, it's like, finding something to bond over together. And I was like, I think we can fall in love with this turkey thing. I was like, I'm hooked. And he was like, yeah, I think so too. And we just were so eager because it was May, so we had to wait till next year to hunt. And that was cool. But deer hunting this year, because every single hunt, it's, we share it, my dad, Sam, and I, we go on together, which to share that with, like, not only Sam and then, my dad, that's pretty cool because everything we get to learn together and have experiences shared between the 3 of us. And I don't know, it's pretty meaningful. But getting to deer hunt this year with Sam and, going to something nobody's ever taught either of us and kind of just learn together and, make mistakes together and, learn from them and talk about them. What could we do better, and learning how to brush up a deer blind. And, it's just different whenever you got to learn on your own. So
Oh yeah, no doubt.
There's a lot, and if anyone ever tells you that they know it all, or they don't, they haven't hunted long enough. I mean, we still learn all the time, and
you're right too. It's so much better whenever you get to do it like with a group, or like our filming group, or you two and your dad. And that's why me and Landen hunt together, or started hunting together so much, is because it keeps you sitting there longer, and you get to share the experience with somebody that's so much better than sitting there by yourself. And
I've told this story like 4 or 5 times, but whenever we were younger, and you're forced to sit with someone because you have to,
because you're unsafe by yourself.
yeah,
unless you're Adam's dad, then you just go back to the car and sleep.
Yeah, he was within 300 yards. It's close enough.
It's like you're not old enough, so someone is sitting with you, and you just kind of like, you like it, but you also like can't wait to get old enough to be on your own, And then it's like you go out on your own, and I enjoy, I still enjoy. If you go out, once or twice. Actually, I don't go out alone anymore because I hunted 1 time alone last year and I killed my biggest deer. So
the only time we didn't sit together.
Yeah, but you do that, and then it's kind of like after a while, it's just like, man, I don't know. I want to like sit with someone or like share it with someone again.
Yeah.
It's like that's where we got into videoing and sitting with someone. You sit twice as long. I mean, you got more people in the tree, more scent out there, but sitting with someone, you also can sit longer. You're sitting there, you can talk to each other, more eyes looking. You can look this way, I'll look this way. You get ready, here
your neck doesn't get those sore spots here and there.
Yeah. That's the best thing about waterfowl hunt. I don't know how people waterfowl hunt solo. Like, I know guys that hunt, like, they'll go on solo hunts. My favorite thing about waterfowl hunting is you do it with 6, 8, 10 people.
Oh yeah. I didn't even know that was a thing. I feel
dad.
like waterfowl hunting. I feel like you have to do it as a group.
Yeah.
No doubt. I mean, there was times.
Who's gonna cook the fajitas down in the pit?
John's just cooking fajitas for himself.
No, my dad's. I respect his, like, when you talk about people whose drive and passion is like that. My dad, like, all about the birds, man. He's about his business.
I'd be hunting with him too, but I'm not retired yet. I need to talk to my boss.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll have to get with John here soon and get him on or something, because I'm sure he's got endless stories of goose hunting from back in the day, and back when the geese still migrated, or honkers still migrated a little more than what they do now.
But he started the farm in '99.
So, where the name Hurricane Marsh comes from, my dad, he bought a piece of land in Illinois in 1999. And when he bought it, he asked the farmer, does it flood here often? The farmer was like, don't worry, the water's in and out like a hurricane. So my dad always named all his hunting spots, so he named our farm Hurricane Marsh.
That's very cool.
That's dope.
neat.
You guys probably have one of the coolest names, like as far as the like outdoor names go. Like anytime you can say, "Oh yeah, Hurricane Marsh," it always sounds like so badass compared to like some other people's names. Like I don't know if you guys feel that way or not, but anytime we talk to people and we say, "Oh yeah, Hurricane Marsh," you can tell it's just like they're like, "Oh man, that's a badass name."
Thank you.
We
We might be
appreciate it.
biased, but
That's a super cool meaning behind it too.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of always curious how it.
Yeah, I don't think I knew how it actually got named until.
Yeah, and that's where the pit is, right?
So the pit, unfortunately, where my dad bought that farm, the flyway, just back in '99, you know, with the birds out in Illinois, it's not like it where he had it. It's not the same, and he hunts more in Missouri now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he does. They do some numbers out there. Although the snow goose hunt in the past 3 years has not been nearly as good as it was, unfortunately, but the honkers are still real good.
The flyway, I feel like, changes quite a
Yeah.
bit depending on like a flood year. You know, if it floods a lot, it's different. Or like crop, like the last couple years we've had terrible crop with the drought, so the birds migrate different because
Well, it's weather depending too. You get cold fronts, and honestly, a lot of times a lot of birds just fly straight over Missouri, anyways. I mean, if they get a strong enough front, so it's
we haven't had very good push of birds this year since it's been so.
no, since it's been warm.
Yeah, but we'll go up north. And
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean the birds are stacked up north. Honestly,
you guys probably haven't been killing the snows over there much because we unknowingly set up in the undisclosed location. It's probably honestly pretty close to you guys, but I think the best day we had last year, we shot 50 or 60 snows down in that little water hole, which is good for.
oh man, I hope I can make it this year. We'll see.
It's not bad. I mean, if you're shooting 50 or 60 snows off a perm spread, it's you're doing pretty good. But most of the time you're chipping away 10 or 15 or 20.
but the best days last year up north was it was over a 2-day span, was like 247 in 2 days.
What?
Yeah.
nuts.
You better start buying shells now.
Were there any, no, honestly, yeah. Gunpower's going up next year too. So
Shoot.
we got a day.
We weren't in like a pit or nothing. We were just laying in white, our Hurricane Marsh white hoodies. Actually.
Yeah.
We literally stopped by your guys' booth at the Iowa Deer Classic to get white hoodies just to snow goose
Yeah,
hunt that
we
weekend.
we went to up there actually to the where we met you all, the Iowa Deer Classic, and we were supposed to be hunting in the morning. I was like, dang, I ain't got no white hoodie, like I ain't got nothing. So we stopped by, and that's when we bought them white hoodies. And I'm kind of disappointed. Mine's gonna get a little dirtier this year than last year.
Well, I know where you can get another one. I might be able to hook you up.
That's great.
Yeah, so I guess we'll kind of take it back. How I first I don't know about Landen, but how I first heard about you guys. Shane, our Uncle Shane, big waterfowl hunter around town, and he had one of your guys's. It was probably one of your original snow goose with the neck collar on it. He had one of the shirts on. I looked at it, I was like, damn, that's probably one of the coolest snow goose shirts. And it was the first year we snow goose hunted, and he had it on. And I was like, damn. So I looked it up, and I bought the goblin turkey that you said was one of your guys' mounts. Didn't the dog chew the leg off of it?
That was the honker goose.
Oh, that was the honker goose.
My dad
yeah.
can't hear about that. That's a sore spot.
Sorry,
First goose
John.
ever he killed.
Oh no.
Ooh. But I bought a couple different shirts and stuff, and then a couple of years went by, and then once we were in the Iowa Deer Classic, we knew we were snow goose hunting that weekend, and we didn't bring any white, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're not hunting layout blinds, we're laying in all white." And we were like, "Damn! Like, what's the chances there's a waterfowl company up at the Iowa Deer Classic? Big giant deer everywhere that's going to have a white snow goose hoodie." And I was like, aha. I was like, I bet I know who's here. And sure enough, we walked right around the corner and your guys' booth was there. And I guess,
Didn't we buy like the last two ones in
yeah,
white?
we
in
bought
our
the last
size?
two on.
Yeah, and I think one of them actually had a stain on it.
Yeah,
That was
and we were
mine.
like, yeah, you guys can we'll give it to you for a little discount.
Yeah,
And
that
you
was-
guys got it.
Yeah, you guys were apologizing and stuff. I was
Same
like,
with
don't worry.
eating like ketchup and fries just earlier.
Yeah.
No, the white, man, it's hard. It's hard on the journey on them. So
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they
no
were,
doubt.
Apologizing. Oh, we're sorry about this and that. I was like, no, trust me, this thing is gonna look. It's gonna get dirty.
I remember
I'm
you
going
saying
to,
that.
I'm going to lay in the mud.
Yeah.
You
I ain't
were,
worried about it.
my dad was having a heyday talking to y'all because, one thing that I know gets my dad all excited because, he's seen a lot in the waterfowl industry. And one thing I think, he sees the most is just how much it's, I guess you could say, evolutionized and times have changed. And just, I hear him talk to certain guys and they're like, we're the last of a dying breed, or like, they're not as hardcore about it. And whenever he talked to you guys, he was like, these guys have that drive, and he was like, these guys love what they do. And I could just see the way he was talking to y'all. It made him feel good to see somebody in the waterfowl industry feel that way.
I'd like to talk to your dad again. I'm sure we could sit down and talk for a long time.
Oh,
Yeah.
you could be here all night.
A long time.
The funniest thing was, though, when we started talking to him at the Deer Classic, we were like, oh, yeah, we shot a bunch of snows down in town and different things. And he was, started asking us about areas we hunted. And obviously, we're not going to tell anybody. But I was like, yeah, we kind of hunted over here. And he's like, I could tell in his face, he was like, oh. And he's like, well, I hunt right over here. And I'm like, oh, yeah, we're pretty close. But there's several snow spreads in that area. But it just takes a good migrator day to really smack down on them.
I think it's going to be a good year for snows, actually. There was several buddies of mine a couple of weeks ago. Shane and them.
Yeah, they killed 30 like a couple weeks ago.
Well, the day before, 2 days before that, they killed like 70.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were out honker hunting 2 weeks ago, I think, and it was a massive snow geese migration day. They were flocks of, hundreds of them just high in the sky, over the clouds actually too, and it was if we had snow geese decoys out, we would have killed more snow geese than we did honkers. Yeah, but we had honker decoys out, and we still did pretty good on honkers that day, but
We had two of our friends with us, and it was their first goose hunt ever. And one of them, he's in high school, and every flock, how high up there, he's like, he's like, oh, he's thinking they're gonna come in whenever he sees a mile
flag
out.
them in from the ozone.
Come down.
It's amazing how high them snows will fly.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, it's insane too how we had them last year on that good migrator day. We had them where, half the guys were up at the trailer cooking, and I think it was me, you, and Caleb Ray sitting down in the laying down in the spread still. It looked like freaking the Lord opened the skies, and you could just see them, and it didn't take them no time. They weren't spinning or nothing.
They were maple leaf.
Yeah, just straight down to us, and I was like, oh my. But that was probably one of the better snow goose hunts we had around town last year.
I think every good snow goose migrator day that we had, we were out on the East Coast or somewhere doing a show, and my dad, all his buddies would text him, and he'd be so upset that they were just tearing him up, and he was out there with us. But
yeah, they're all sending him pictures, making him jealous, and you can tell he's all torn up just sitting there. But it's all worth it to him because he's started the brand and he's building it, but he's had enough days of hundreds of snow geese that he's killed. He's like, I've shot enough in my day. I can sit a couple out.
I would love to hear some of the stories that he could tell.
Is he coming to the Deer Classic with you guys?
Oh
this
yeah,
year?
he wouldn't miss it.
You better tell him to bring a shotgun because he's gonna snow goose hunt
Yeah.
one day.
Oh yeah,
We could put him on some snows.
oh, he would be ecstatic. I think one thing too that we kind of talk about, and he says, is that what we make up for, he doesn't get to go out duck season and snow geese and the end of honker season, because when shows pick up, we do take a little bit of time off for turkeys. That does.
oh yeah,
You gotta make room for the.
Sounds like you guys got your priorities straight anyway.
yeah, that's for sure.
Turkey season's where it's at.
You guys just leave John at the booth and go turkey hunting. Good luck, Dad.
Yeah, we actually made a little turkey tour last spring. We went to 5 different states, I think. 6 different states, and we got, between the 3 of us, we got 6 birds, which
Wow.
not
Oh
bad.
yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah, it It was a good spring
I'm
for
gonna have
us.
to start telling my dad, like, Dad, it's turkey season. Yeah, we need to install cabinets. Yeah, someone wants cabinets in Illinois today. We're gonna have to head over there.
Schedule the turkey tour.
Next week, I think someone's calling in from Kansas.
So, how long ago did your dad start going waterfowl hunting up in Canada, or where'd he kind of start waterfowl hunting at?
So my dad is actually the second youngest of 7,
Oh, wow.
and he grew up in Ferguson, Missouri.
Oh,
Ferguson, like
Yes.
where Florissant and all.
Yes.
Like, so my grandma, that's where my mom grew up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Did he go to McClure
Yeah.
before it was like everything changed? Wait,
Well,
what year
maybe
did he
they know each other.
Wait,
How
what,
old?
What year did he graduate?
Who went there? Your grandma or aunt?
So my grandma, she lived there, but my mom went to school at McClure and raised up in the Ferguson, Florissant area.
My dad was born in 1970.
Yeah, my mom's got about 12 years on your dad.
Yeah, he grew up out there, and
But I know what area you're talking about, and things have changed.
yeah,
quite
it's
a bit.
completely
Quite a
different now
bit.
than it was then.
Yeah.
You don't want to get caught up over there now.
It can. There's some good people over there. Don't get me wrong, but it can get a little rough at times.
Right.
For sure.
yeah, he didn't live in the sticks or nothing, but
No, that's the city. That is city
Yeah.
right there.
he fell in love with, gosh, I don't even know where to start with my dad. Like some of the stories he's still, I'm 22 years old, and I've spent a lot of windshield time in the truck with my dad, and heard him tell a lot of stories. And there's some that I'm like, I've never heard of this one before, but I definitely believe it. No, it's true. So, I mean, I honestly, that's a good question. I need to ask him, like, his first hunt and what got him. I
And-
feel horrible that I don't know that.
I'm sure he's probably told you, but yeah, I don't know. I just kind of wondered who took him or how he got started to where it kind of grew into.
Do you know if like his mom or dad, or did they come from a hunting family, or was your dad one of the?
My grandpa, he just passed away last year. He was a 91, a drill instructor in the Marine Corps. And so you can imagine how strict he was on my dad. But I know he got into hunting in his teens, and he always talks about the good old days down whenever Tim Grounds and all them were down in Illinois, down on what's that? I don't know. There's a town with like geese on the overpass.
Marion,
Oh, Marion. Yeah, but
Illinois.
when all the geese would winter down there. But I know one story that I think about whenever my dad talks about getting into it is, he said he never really liked hunting with duck dogs and stuff like that because just, some people didn't, train them right and everything. And he worked at UPS before he got full-time on as a firefighter. And his boss at UPS, he would take him out hunting, and he had a duck dog, and my dad was hunting with him, and his boss was like, you know what? He's like, John, if you go out and, you come with us every weekend and you promise me you'll be there, I'll buy you a lab. My dad was like, okay. So my dad took him out, and he'd go to training every weekend, and that dog Hunter, he was my childhood dog, and he was a good duck dog. But I think that story is kind of like, whenever he talks about the start of it all, I think sharing it with that dog too also.
No doubt. Yeah, I'm sure that's special. I know one of the guys, Nick Locke, that we hunt with a lot, he's got the same thing, a dog that, one of them dogs that you probably won't ever have a dog as good as like what that dog is. And that's probably one of the coolest aspects of, like, obviously, waterfowl hunting's fun, but I couldn't imagine sharing it with a dog and training it up and doing like the whole 9 yards with it.
Yeah, just watching Nick and his dog. That dog's ate up with hunting, and it's very well trained. And it wasn't no special. He didn't send it to special trainer or nothing. I think he paid $50 for it and
Yeah, he
trained it
paid
himself.
$50 for it and trained it himself.
Some of those dogs just have the drive.
They
They either have it or they don't.
This dog has it in its blood. Like, yeah, it just knows.
he sends it to bring decoys back, and it'd swim out there, grab a decoy, and here it comes back.
That's
with it.
crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
But it was still kind of a pup, which is doing a lot better this year. But their last year, or it gets so excited, like it just wants to go for.
Hell, I think it retrieved 1,000 birds last year.
Yeah, something like that.
It was nuts. Which they always go up to Nodak for like 8 or 9 days, which I think we're going with them this year, hopefully in October.
Oh, that's
Or
awesome.
this next year.
Watch your breakfast burritos around that dog. Take your eye off of it. Happen to be gone.
Yeah, I think John always tells us the stories about how like he would like break the ice with his dogs, how he'd train them, he'd take them, early season, duck and goose, and then he would take them up to Saskatchewan, and he was like, that's where they would become a duck dog, because he was like, they'd kill, several hundred birds, and that dog would get right into the mix of it, and that's where all the training just came in.
Yeah.
He also, oops, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say one of the most important things he said is the dog's confidence of seeing a white bird out there. He said that was the biggest thing is, seeing it being like, okay, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I bet so.
I think the biggest thing with like Nick's dog, even the permanent spread that we were hunting was made up of like 200 to 300 full body floaters on a body of water. So you drop a bunch of snows in there. Well, there's also 200 or 300 floaters out there. Being able to find the actual bird.
Yep. It's impressive.
Pretty.
Oh, it's insane most of the time, I mean, if you get that dead time sometimes, right in the morning, and if it don't pick up or whatever, where everyone's just laying in the spread and you're goofing off, picking fun at each other or whatever you're doing, and you'll know instantly because Nick's dog Hank, I mean, he's always head up in the sky, and you'll just hear him start whining. As soon as he starts whining, everyone just rolls over in position. It's pretty cool.
I don't know. You can't really teach that. That's pretty awesome.
You probably haven't really gotten to witness a true.
No, well, my uncle Wade, he has German Shorthairs that he breeds and has bred for like the last 20 years. And I would have witnessed going and seeing, because, dove, duck, anything, this dog was on it. Mickey was his name. Now he has one named Marsh, and he had another one. But anyways, I had a chance to go, and at the time I was like 13. And when you have a 13-year-old boy with a shotgun and you have one of the best dogs you've ever had in your entire life, you don't let that 13-year-old boy go shoot a gun next to him. So I didn't go. So I haven't had a chance to see a dog work.
That's one of Nick's biggest things too. He literally tells everyone before we hunt, he's like, don't shoot my damn dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's big no.
We don't hardly ever hunt with anyone anymore that's not pretty experienced or got the knowledge not to do that.
Water swat when the dog's right there.
Right.
Is your friend Nick, is that his first duck dog?
I think it is. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it is.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a. Well, I've probably sent you some of the pictures of.
Yeah,
of
you
Hank.
have.
Yeah, and it's. I think he was only 2 years old last year, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Or just a year.
I was 2.5 or 3 this year.
Yeah, I was gonna say he. Yeah, it's by far the. I mean, I haven't waterfowl hunted as much as you guys and your dad or whatever, but it's a hell of a dog.
He's got that big blocky head. He's
Yeah.
so cute.
He does. He means business when he's hunting. I've seen him last year in the snow spread where we'd kill a few birds or have a 5 to 10 bird rain out, and he was the only dog, and he would pass up all the birds that were stone cold dead, and he would run after the go get the one that was
he'd
cribbed.
get the crips before you get the dead
And
birds.
then he would take it and basically kill it and drop it and go get the next one and kill it. And then once they were all done moving, he was started bringing them back.
That is exactly how our dog Jeter is. He passes the dead ones, goes straight for the crippled ones that are the farthest one out there, and swims like a half a mile to go get it.
He's 9 too.
Yeah,
He's 9?
Yeah.
Yep. Wow.
It's kind of like your neighbor's dog and your chickens, Adam.
Let's not talk about that.
I will say one thing that's pretty cool though. After because we had Hunter, we had to put him down, I think 2012. He was born, my dad got him the year he got the farm too in 99. And Then we had Vader, named after Darth Vader. And then we just put him down about 4 years ago. And then we have Jeter now. But
Not named after Derek Jeter.
No. We're St. Louis. But, yeah, I think the coolest thing is each dog kind of has, it's like an athlete or, it's like a person, you know what I mean? A family member. They each have their own trait that, like, what makes them, like, a phenomenal duck dog. And, my dad, I've asked him and Sam's asked him a million times. I think I knew better to ask him that question, which dog's the best duck dog, because my dad gets torn up. He's like, this one did this, but that one, And I think that's cool that he's been able to share that bond with his dog.
Yeah, they all seem like they have a different personality or better at one thing than the other. That is cool.
I tried to make Nick's dog a shed dog, but I think he's gonna stick to ducks.
Yeah, he don't like holding sheds.
Of course, I found a pair of big enough sheds that he wouldn't even hold them. So
Yeah.
or we made him hold them, but he didn't want to hold them.
Right, there's that one. Isn't that your screensaver still? Or
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That was him. We actually wouldn't hold the bigger side at all.
He's like, it's not flopping. I don't want it.
There's no feathers on it.
Yeah.
That dog loves. We were actually goose hunting a few weeks back, and we had a crip, and it swam across the lake and like got on the bank, and one of the guys were yelling like, "Oh, someone go run it down!" And I was like, "No, just wait till the dog sees it." The dog was messing around, and Nick was like, the dog listens extremely well. He was sending him, and there was like 4 geese that were floating in the water, and Nick tried to send him, and he would like jump in the water, and he would like on command stop him, bring him back to the bank, and like send him like towards the live bird.
Yeah.
And he just wasn't seeing it. Like he would go to the next farthest bird, and about that time he saw it on the bank, and I mean it was like
Game on.
yeah,
He
it
was
was
on it.
game over. It was like, and actually we had a few young kids with us that it was their first goose hunt, and they're hooked now. They've been texting me back and forth about what to look for, what they need to buy, and like the whole 9 yards. And the dog was just like on it, and it was pretty cool. I mean, the kids they loved it.
It's definitely a big full experience whenever you get to see like a dog work too. Whenever you're out there, not just hunting, but seeing like the duck dog in action too. I feel like that's the full like waterfowl experience.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean,
I enjoy watching the dog work sometimes just as much as the hunt, just
Other-
to see his drive and passion for.
yeah, other than hunting with Shane, I mean, up when he had, his dogs up there, Maggie or whatever, when we'd draw in just me and him, or me, you, and Max, or whoever would go, when we'd go to pass or up at the other place, we really had no idea, like, starting out what we were doing at all. And it
I had to be the dog, but I wasn't near as quick as they
we'd shoot ducks up at pass or something, and never had a dog or nothing to get them, so we'd go wading out way to get them. But
yeah, and you can't move very fast in a pair of waders and
Dude, after that,
2 foot.
where were we hunting? Like, it was Central Zone in Iowa.
Oh, that mud pit that we were
Yeah.
shooting the teal on.
Dude, I thought I was going to die.
Well, you were like, we were in like
was like-
2 foot of mud, and you were running through it.
Yeah. Well, that damn crib was like 200 yards away or something like that. And I probably had shot like 7 more rounds at her.
7 more.
She finally stopped and I grabbed her. But
You sound like the guys we were hunting with last weekend. We hunted with some guys last weekend, and it was way too many guys for what the place we were hunting. But I think there was like 12 of us or something, and we ended up shooting a nice stud canvasback and a couple. We killed 15 geese or something, but
The geese kept veering off to their side. Like there was the 3 of us that kind of were the main. The one buddy, it was his hunt, and the other guy shows, and it's fine. Like, but like if you invite a buddy, like, hey, you mind if he comes, with us on the hunt? But this kid shows up with 9 of his buddies, and we're like,
what?
yeah.
yeah,
We're
which
all
we really didn't
We
have
didn't
a
make
choice.
that big of a deal. But
you know.
we were like,
That's just a lot to bring
Well,
without mentioning
in
it before.
his defense, he didn't. Nick was hunting Kansas, so he didn't have. He had.
I don't know. It wasn't my hunt, but there was quite a few of us, and they sat all down on the right side, and they never really even said a word. But all the geese kept basically veering off on the right side towards them, and so I wasn't even shooting. Didn't want to swing over anyone. Just we'd pop up, I'd shoot in my lane and let them. The first couple of geese that come by, and we were sitting there and like, oh yeah, there was like 4 or 5 of them. We're like, yeah, none of these birds should leave. Like, get out of here, And they pop up, start shooting, and it's like, well, there go 4 of them.
I think
they shot one goose, and we picked up,
I think 16 shells.
16 shells. Like holes on, like, yeah.
Hey, maybe they were just having a bad. I don't know. Maybe they were having a bad day, but yeah.
Ammo company's loving it.
Yeah.
I should invest in stock beforehand.
Yeah. Shit.
No, we did it. Well, I say we, I guess all of us, but yeah, we did that several times. We'd have like 8 or 10 of them come in. We're like, oh, perfect. None of these should get out. And we'd pop up, and yeah, they boom, 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 boom. They'd all unload their gun, and I'd sit down and be like, how many of y'all unloaded your gun? They're like, oh, we just shoot till we're empty. I'm like,
It's a good way to do it.
like, we're not snow goose hunting.
Do you have a plug in that one? Are you sure?
I might have shot, I don't know, probably 5 shells the whole hunt.
Wow. Oh, man.
Yeah, I didn't
You
shoot
saved
a
your
whole
ammo,
lot.
though, for this next weekend. That's good.
Yeah.
I do hearing stories like that. The one thing, I don't know, and I guess it's because I've gotten to hunt with some young bloods recently, and just seeing their like drive and passion and form and stuff, seeing kids that fired up for it and stuff also, kind of reassures me, because the way our industry is and stuff, it's just, and how laws and all that.
No doubt.
Actually, the 2 boys that we took the other day, there's the pond that they have holds a lot of birds, and people have been trying to get permission on it for a long time, and the dad always told them they could hunt it as long as they took the boys, and I don't know, for whatever reason, no one could ever follow through.
Yeah, no one could make it work.
And
for some
they're
reason.
super nice boys, but we ended up getting with them and took them out, and they were super excited, which they were on Christmas break, and it was a good time to go, and it just couldn't have worked out. We didn't really even make a call to them, as the birds were just locked in, feet down, and both of them were just ecstatic. And we killed a band, actually, and we didn't even let anyone else draw over it. We just told the 2 boys, like, hey, you 2 fight over whose it is. And it was funny, because when they were around us, they were super nice, but then like we'd go picking something up, and it'd just be the 2 of them, and they'd just be arguing, fighting over it. The older one was like, you got a 18-inch barrel on your gun. There's no way you killed that bird. And they were just like fighting over it the whole time. So it was and then like we'd get back in the group or whatever, and they would just act like super nice about the whole thing, but you could just see them like arguing. But whenever we told them, like, hey, you guys fight over it, their eyes were like this big around, like they were just super crazy.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Even like I said, we're talking about the kids, we were hunting with, getting up and shooting however many shells. It's cool just to see that, there's still people getting interested in the sport, and that, call it 50 or 100 years from now, whenever we're done and gone, that there's still people going to be taking up the, waterfowl as a hobby. So that's, no doubt. I
feel like it's going to be interesting, just even over our lifetime, just to see how it changes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure your dad, from when he started to now, how much it's changed. Or even Grandpa.
Oh, yeah. Grandpa talks all the time about up in Sumner where Macie Goose is.
Goose used to be known as the goose capital of the world.
Yeah,
but
they have...
anymore, geese are on every local pond and lake, just year-round, some of them. Local birds. But back then he said you didn't go down to the park and see a bunch of geese. You just didn't see that. It was like they all migrated down that one time and the sky'd be black with them, but now geese are just kind of spread everywhere, and it takes some really cold weather to move a lot of them south.
I know we show him videos of whatever snow goose hunting all the time, and he's always like, "Yeah, that's how the honkers used to be."
But I don't.
The honkers used to
There
be.
wasn't snows like that back in the day.
Nah,
Not that I know of, or that he ever talked
Maybe
about.
your dad probably knows. Did he go? Was he shooting just strictly snows in Canada, or they'd shoot everything up there?
I know they'd shoot everything because he would tell me just how they would go up for like a week, and they would have like days where they were like not, they shot way too many snow geese that day, so they would just go find a duck hole or something like that.
Yeah.
And they said duck hunting up there was insane.
Oh, I bet so.
I know Grandpa used to say whenever he would go up and they would sit in these basically concrete pits in the ground. He
Yeah,
said they
Swan
were-
Lake had concrete
they
pits,
were,
I think.
know, cold as heck, and you were only limited to like 5 shells. That's all you could bring.
5 shells.
I'm pretty sure it was
Yes.
3 or 5 shells. You can only bring a certain amount of shells.
Yeah, it might have been 3, but your limit was like 1 or 2 birds. Well, I think it was like 1 bird.
Yeah,
Better make
something like
those
that.
shells count.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you were limited that's all the shows you could legally have on you.
I don't know if I would go.
That's probably why I didn't keep going. But the funny thing was, hell, it's been, I guess, a couple years ago now, but he has, 2 banded geese in his basement?
He has 1, I know for sure.
Yeah, one or two of them down there. Didn't you call the bandit? Didn't he had never even called it?
No, I don't know if I asked him one time. I'm like, "Hey, what's the information on that?" And he's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't think he ever did anything with it." And I was like, "Well, I'm just gonna call it in I was just curious what it was, So I filled out the information and put in.
I forget
My
even
grandpa
what it
killed
said.
this ages ago. Don't think he ever called it in, and the whole 9 yards. And it was pretty cool, the information on it.
Yeah.
Do you remember what it was?
It was a local bird. It
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
banded any or special. It was just a local bird. But it was neat, even I guess the band, how different it is from one today.
Oh, yeah.
Not necessarily different. It's still just, but the wording on it and the way that the numbers and stuff were just different than most you see today.
Interesting.
Yeah, so pretty neat.
Yeah, I've never shot I finally shot my first duck, and I've shot geese in the past, but we shot geese together too up in Iowa.
Was this your first year? This was your first
that was
year,
my
though.
first year. But nothing that's been banded. Would have been a banded goose if it wasn't for
Yeah, we had an instance this year. We were hunting
absolute wild.
early honkers, and
Oh, I wasn't up there.
no,
Yeah,
we had this.
central zone. Early. Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
we had
so-
this bird selling right to us, and it was like, all right, boys, get ready. He's locked up. Who's going to take him? And, I mean, he was flying 50, 60 yards off the ground.
Yeah.
And this group, it was off the water, but this group in front of us, it was also teal season, but it was early urban goose.
That's it. That was the one.
Yes. And these boys, I guess, that were hunting just on the other canal from us. And he's locked up over our spread. And we actually had some
We had
goose
2
floaters out.
Yeah, 2 floaters.
And they just unload their guns at him. And he's still flying.
They,
and the last shell clips his wing and he just sails down. And we were like,
yeah.
seriously? And then it was a few minutes later and they're all over there yelling, it's banded, it's banded. And we were like,
And then we had another one coming in, and it would have landed in our set, and this bird was 80 yards up.
yeah, they
probably.
did the same thing.
They
but
did the
they
same
didn't
thing.
kill
and
him this time.
Thing just flew away. but
Yeah. It's kind of deceiving sometimes, especially as a new waterfowl hunter seeing birds fly around and stuff.
Oh yeah, trust me. Adam was wanting to shoot at everything that flew by. He's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah, I can get that. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. I'm gonna limit you to 5 shells next time.
yeah, that's probably best.
So Adam, you only get 5 shells. So you want to shoot at that, or you want to wait?
Suddenly, he's more accurate.
You know what's crazy though? Talking about how at Swan Lake you could only have 5 shells and maybe I think that's Swan Lake or
Yeah, it was Swan Lake. I'm pretty sure.
my dad or not my dad out in Maryland on the eastern side of the state, they for the longest time they've only had a one-man limited goose, or
Just a single goose
Yes.
is all you could shoot.
but people would still, go out. But this year, I remember because we went out there for the World Goose Calling Championship, and everybody was all excited because they changed it to 2 or 3.
2.
2.
Two.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Imagine being able to shoot 2 geese.
Yeah, and I mean, our limit is 3
3.
here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was on the phone with a guy, a good buddy of mine that's stationed up in North Dakota, and their limit up there is like 8.
Checks out.
Michigan is 5.
Really?
No,
Yep.
New York, it's 15.
15.
Up in upstate New York.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
But also, too, I can't remember who I was talking to. A guy out in Maryland, because he was talking about, he's like, yeah, I don't mess around with the one-man limit. And he was telling me he's got a spot over, like, I don't know the, 5 Great Lakes or whatever, but it's right on the other side of the Great Lake, and it's like a open field. And he said it's the first land that the birds see when they're crossing the lake. He said they're the easiest birds to shoot, and he's like, there are so many of them. They had like a 8-man limit in upstate. It might not have been New York because it doesn't touch. So whatever state touches. Sorry, I'm getting my geography
Yeah,
wrong.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But whatever
Close
state
enough.
Yeah.
touches,
We'll go with it.
Yeah.
or whatever body of water, they shot an 8-man limit in like 2 or 3 hours and 15 geese a person. So if you do the math on that,
insane.
Oh,
8 times 15. Who's good at math?
give it to us,
I
Adam.
mean, you just took out a whole.
8 times 5, 45. 8 times 10 is 80. 80 plus 45. What is that?
125.
I
There
was
you
gonna
go.
say like a park full of geese, like that size.
That is it.
Yeah, just go down to your local park. That's
I never
about how
really
many
would
they
have thought
kill.
of that, but yeah, by the time they cross the Great Lakes, I mean, I'm sure they're tired and
Yep.
ready to eat.
Ready to feed.
They're getting
That's
jacked
cool.
up.
Jeez.
Yeah, he said it was like a cloudy day, and he said he was. I mean, I will say, I believe it. He was drunk at the same time. I mean, I do believe it because just the way some people talk about hunting birds up there in those eastern states around the Great Lakes, it's just insane. Like
How-
that day I didn't get to go goose hunting in Michigan when Sam, you guys were mentioning, they killed 48.
48, yeah.
Wow.
It's the hunting culture's different up there because no offense to them, it's a little bit easier than us getting, those migrators and the locals down here are a little bit easier or a little harder to call in. Up there, it's like one after another. I mean, we went up with a guide up there, and I mean, we limited out 10-man. Well, almost. We were too shy. We could have gotten it, but we just decided to back out because we'd already shot up the field enough. But I mean, man, and we were up there for 2 hours and we had 48 geese.
That's insane. I feel like that's because, Canada, they're shooting them, and then like Michigan and Minnesota and them, it's like they're second on the list, to shoot them. It's like we're like towards the bottom, like we're getting all these birds that done been shot up.
Oh,
for
they're
most
all
of the season,
educated. Yeah,
Well,
all
it
been
kind of
shot
makes
at.
you wonder, right? Like when you get, especially if you ever get like a banded bird, like how many sets did this bird see?
Oh,
before he
yeah. How
made
many
it here?
spreads?
Oh,
How many
yeah.
shots of shells? Have been
My
shot at this?
cousin Gavin, he was probably,
I told them this yesterday.
he just turned
I think he was-
16, so
I
he
think
might have been
12 or 13.
12 or 13, and killed a snow goose. Had like a single come in. They're like, oh yeah, we'll let him shoot it. And so he stands up.
Crawled out of the pit.
Well, I think it landed. It was walking around, so they were like, send him out of the pit, and he like crawls up there and like shoots it the first time, completely misses, like takes off, shoots again, like misses, and on the third one he just like rolls it. It was banded, and my uncle said when he brought it in, he was looking at it and he was like, oh, it's like the band was so thin, just from where. It was 19 years old, banded in
Texas.
Was it Texas? Yeah,
Yep,
it
banded
was
in
19 years
Texas.
old.
Holy shoot!
Think of how many times
That thing's seen.
For the
how many
last
spreads,
19 seasons, it flew
how many miles and spreads.
back and forth.
That's one educated goose.
Yeah, and it landed in the spread.
Probably
And he
just
killed
got-
it with his last shell.
And got
yeah.
killed by a 12-year-old.
Survived 19 years.
Yeah,
just to
that's
die
just
by
got-
This
Bobo.
bird is older than you, kid.
Yeah.
Man,
He probably just got old and senile and was like, I'm just going to land.
yeah, honestly, wow.
Yeah, pretty cool.
But crazy to think about. A lot of birds I feel like are killed within the first, say, 1 to 4 years of being,
Yeah.
Especially like honkers or local birds,
You know what's one thing I think about often, and we've talked about this, brought this kind of up several times about, I wonder what we're going to see evolutionize over our time, by the time we're 60 and how much it's going to change. I mean, think about your grandpa, these transmitter geese and backpacks, like ducks with backpacks on them. Like, that's got to be like a wild. But I mean, think about, all the new technology. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, I don't how many years from now we got like drones that look like a duck, act like a duck, and they just fly with the pack or the whole gaggle of geese from Alaska or Iceland or wherever they're going all the way down to Louisiana, and you get to see that all year. That would be insane.
Yeah.
As long as they make them do it dirty and come in, I'll shoot it.
With a little bit of a reward,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. No kidding.
I've already noticed, though, I don't know if you guys have seen them in your area, they've taken bands and, like, basically powder-coated them or painted them black so you couldn't just band shoot or band hunt. We got some that are black around town.
I think my first one that I ever shot last year, it was like a little black and gray. I don't know if it was for that purpose. It may have just been wear, but it was a little blacker than I feel like normal.
So
I
they
think
go
that
ahead.
was wear.
It may have been wear.
A powder coat. I've seen a powder coat rivet band before.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It might have been fake though, because it was on some redneck kid that walked into our booth at a show in like Alabama.
Yeah, I don't know that because I say
Probably got
powder.
it from the park.
I say
Shot it
powder
with his Red
coated.
Rider.
Yeah, I say powder coated, but however they just made them black, so you couldn't basically band shoot. But the few that we ended up killing that were black, after putting them on the lanyard and stuff, the paint's basically all worn off, and so now they look just like a regular band. So how long does the color actually stay on them? I don't know. And two, I haven't waterfowl hunted long, but when we're sitting there and they're coming in and they're like, all right, crack down and shoot. I don't think I've ever popped up and been like, oh yeah, let me pick the bands real quick. I just pick the closest goose and start letting it eat.
Yeah, that's how I am. I can't see the bands from that far.
I can't see the bands either. So
I've taken pictures before snow goose hunting where you can zoom in later and you can be like, all right, that one did have a band on it, but not.
Maybe back in the day, whenever they had the collars,
The collars,
I could see that
yeah.
being a thing. But with the little leg bands, I can't see them.
My dad can sometimes, because like I know, he'll have, and it's not like, stretching the truth after or whatever, but like, I know, and I've had my dad's friends, they'll be like, yeah, your dad was like, that one was banded, and like Jeter, our dog, will go get it and bring it back. And like, sometimes, but it's not like, it's like a once in like a, 200 time thing that it happens. But like, I guess, he's been there, done there around the block. When geese come in, it's all motion blur, but I guess when you have done it so many times, you can kind of live it in slow motion because you know how it's going to happen.
Yeah, he can pick them small details out.
I was talking to some boys the other day, and they were kind of saying the same thing, like having birds come over and either shooting at them or missing or shooting a few and like, or emptying your gun and being out of shells and then watching a bird fall off and be like, dang, that one's banded. And I'm like, wow, I just either kill my limit or empty my gun and say like, well, there they go flying. I don't, they could have been banded, but I can't tell.
Mm-hmm.
But I did hear the other day that they're going to put, their goal was to put more transmitters on ducks this year by like 1,500 more transmitters on ducks.
Well, I hope I get one.
Yeah.
Saying there's a chance.
Yep.
That's great.
I started blasting.
Well, what do you guys got in store for 2024?
2024 is a exciting year.
Hopefully, another turkey tour. Jeez.
And you guys
I don't
have
know.
some turkey camo coming out, right?
So, we kind of
God damn it, Adam. Did you spoil something you weren't supposed to say?
we got
Cut
some
that
new
out.
Cut him off.
You're done.
we got some new turkey designs. We got coming out, and this is a little bit of a secret that we haven't shared yet. But we kind of gave y'all the sneak peek because they just came in. Sam's rocking one right now, so You guys can see it here at the table, but you can't see it through the podcast, so I'm sorry. But
They're freaking sweet too.
Yeah, they were very sweet.
we got some more like casual wear, you know, because everything we've always had, you know, my dad, whenever he was a firefighter, you know, we asked, what's your goal? He's like, I want, you know, and originally it was the X logo, and over time people were like, oh, H&M is here, and we're like, okay, well, you can call us H&M, but, you know, it's H&M. There's no and in between. And people have really recognized this from our big H&M logo. And my dad was like, you know, I want people to be able to see our X or H&M or whatever it is and be like, that guy hunts, whether he's at a wedding or a dinner party or something and doesn't know anybody there. But he's like, okay, I can get along with this guy and we can start talking about deers or ducks because we got common ground here. And, you know, we, for the longest time, everything we had has always had a duck dog, a goose, or, you know, a turkey or something related in the outdoors. And now in 2024, we're taking things to like, you know, dress shirts and button-ups and polos and Oxfords and shorts and stuff like that. So.
Nice.
Yeah, even us hunters can clean up every now and then.
That's right.
I'm gonna get. You guys can make a suit for when one of us gets married.
A redneck suit.
Oh yeah.
Gets married in an
camo suit.
An H&M.
We'll put turkey spurs on the bottom of the pants.
That'd be hilarious. But
Well, Adam and Alan are out, so
yeah, y'all already get divorced, get remarried.
Yeah. My wife will listen to this later. So
Sorry, Addie.
I love you, Addie.
I'll take that back whenever you cook my lamb.
Yeah.
No, I just want to say I'm super glad you guys got to come down. I'm really glad we got to coordinate all of this and make it happen. I think we need to definitely make it a yearly thing and keep the friendship and keep the camaraderie going, because it's probably been one of the coolest experiences I've had being able to share hunt with you guys this year, and I can't thank you guys enough for showing up.
yeah, it's been a really good time, and hopefully in 2024 we can knock a few more deer down with you all.
Heck yeah, I agree, and thank you guys for having us out. I mean, it was a blast. I mean, getting to shoot my first deer and get to have that experience with you guys, not only with you guys, but with my woman too, and get to be out in the blind and shoot a deer. I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah, Brady guided you this year, but I'll put you on a bigger one next.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, all in all, like I said, you guys are probably one of definitely the most down-to-earth people in the whole industry. And, like I said, we're no giant have no giant following by no means, but I think you guys are definitely the coolest people in the whole industry that we've ever met. You're absolutely 100%, super cool. So I really don't know, how else to express how grateful we are to have you guys as friends and share hunt with you. So
Yeah, and you guys have a great lineup of hats and shirts and
yeah,
I mean
the sickest apparel.
yeah, everything.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Yeah, you guys, ever since we kicked it off there at Iowa Deer Classic, we've stayed in touch, and I love keeping up with you guys. So I'm grateful we got to hang out down here and meet Adam.
Yeah, Adam too. We can't forget about Adam over here.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And
Yeah.
Addie.
Y'all
Shout
are
out.
great Show Me State folks, and it's not too often we get to hang out with Show Me State people, and
Heck yeah.
we had a blast talking with y'all and learning from y'all and hanging with y'all.
Yeah, we'll have to run another podcast with y'all.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
Turkey season that'd be a good podcast
Yeah,
to get
we'll
ready
see.
for turkey season.
See if we can't make something
The turkeys
work.
were gobbling tonight.
Yeah, they were.
They were gobbling.
Surprised
tonight.
you guys didn't hear them on the holler where you guys were at, honestly.
The deer were not moving, but the turkeys were gobbling. So we're
It's a sign.
Our minds are spinning somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
we're
We still got a lot of goose and snows.
yeah,
before
we're
then.
getting deer season's in the past now. It's time for the feathered creatures.
It's time for birds.
But no, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up. I know we're all tired. It's late night. We stayed up late last night, but it's hard to get some rest whenever we sit and talk so much. So I'm just, like I said, thankful you guys got to record with us, and I'm thankful we got to, get Sam a deer. So
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah, Adam's got to get out of here.
yeah, he's got
Gotta
to
get home to his wife.
You said I'll be home by midnight.
I'll be home by 1. I meant 1.
What time is it right now?
It's midnight.
Oh.
That's all right. All right. Anyways, we'll close her out. Appreciate everybody listening. So thank you guys again. We'll see you on the next one.
Peace out.
See y'all.
See ya.